What happens if a woman lets her son's buddy move into her extra room? Welcome to a tale filled with forbidden impulses and surprising relationships. Today we'll look at the age gap. Eleanor Raymond, 50, and Ethan Harvey, 18, are romantically involved in Eastenders. Our story begins in the lively community of Albert Square. Eleanor Raymond is a well-known figure here, running a local pub with her husband Richard. She's recently reconnected with her children after a long time apart, and life seems pretty settled, but things are about to get interesting. Enter Ethan Harvey, a young and charming man who arrives in Albert Square out of the blue. Ethan is an old school friend of Eleanor's son, Kevin. When he discovers Kevin is now residing overseas, Ethan has nowhere to go. Eleanor, realizing his predicament, gives him a place to stay in Kevin's former room. Her husband Richard is not thrilled about it, but Ethan moves in anyway. Ethan's arrival almost immediately causes a commotion. Sarah, Eleanor's daughter, develops a love on Ethan and finally asks him out, but Ethan regards Sarah as a little sister and politely declines. When Eleanor tells Ethan about Sarah's feelings, he says she's not his type. This makes Eleanor curious, so she asks, "Who is your type?" Then she's not ready for the answer. As Ethan settles into the house, the chemistry between him and Eleanor starts to grow. Despite their 30-year age gap, there's a clear connection. Ethan admires Eleanor's strength and wisdom, and Eleanor is drawn to Ethan's youthful energy and charm. This unexpected attraction makes Eleanor feel excited, but also scared. After Sarah leaves home to start university, the dynamics in the house shift dramatically. Eleanor, her husband, Richard, and Ethan are left in the house together, and over the next few weeks, the chemistry between Eleanor and Ethan begins to intensify. Ethan, noticing Eleanor's growing tension and stress, offers to give her a massage. This simple act of kindness quickly turns into something more. As Ethan's hands work on her shoulders, he takes the chance to make the first move. "How does that feel?" he asks softly. Eleanor, caught off guard, responds, "Lovely." Ethan, "Just lovely." The intimate moment escalates when Ethan comments on her smooth skin. Eleanor, shocked by the encounter, pulls away, feeling a mix of confusion and excitement. Trying to maintain her distance, Eleanor grows envious when she sees Ethan getting close to a female he met at his new work one evening. She is unable to refrain from commenting, "Oh, it is a female, which explains why you are getting so suited up." Ethan notices her jealousy and gives her a reassuring glance. He adds, "I won't go if it makes you jealous." Eleanor attempts to play it off, but her envy is palpable.
Oh, it's a she.
I won't go if it's making you jealous.
Jealous? Oh, don't be silly.
See you later.
Eleanor starts reflecting on her life with Richard, realizing how dull it has become. Richard prefers staying in and watching TV over going out, which frustrates Eleanor. One evening, knowing that Ethan will be at a 70s-themed party, she sabotages her quiet night in convincing Richard to go. "Maybe we could go to that 60s thing," she suggests. Richard, uninterested, declines, seizing the opportunity. Eleanor decides to go alone. At the party, Eleanor and Ethan dance closely, the strong sexual tension between them becoming more evident. Despite this, Eleanor initially does not reciprocate Ethan's feelings. This leads Ethan to consider moving out of the house. He tells Eleanor, "I just thought I'd tell you I'm thinking about moving on." Eleanor, devastated, tries to convince him to stay. "Don't go, Ethan," she pleads. In a final attempt to stay, Ethan forcefully kisses Eleanor, and she responds passionately. He suggests they take things upstairs to the bedroom, but Eleanor shyly declines, saying she can't. Instead, they move to the living room, where Ethan embraces her again. Their intimate moment is interrupted when Richard returns home early from a poker game. Hearing the door, Eleanor and Ethan quickly compose themselves. When Richard asks if Ethan has left, Eleanor informs him that Ethan has decided to stay. "No, we had a talk. He decided to stay," she explains.
No, we had a talk. He's decided to stay.
The next day, Richard tells Eleanor that he will be going away for a work tea. Rip. Not trusting herself to be alone with Ethan, Eleanor tells Richard he can't go. "I'm sorry you can't go just like that. I need a bit of notice," she says, trying to hide her true reasons. Ethan steps in, convincing Richard to go by, assuring him, "Don't worry, Richard, I'll keep her company."
Yeah, don't worry, Terry. I'll keep it company.
Alone in the house with Ethan, the tension reaches a boiling point. Ethan cooks a romantic meal for them, but Eleanor, consumed with guilt, struggles to enjoy it. "I'm not hungry," she says. "Why not?" Ethan asks. "Because we shouldn't be doing this," Eleanor replies, clearly torn. She leaves the house trying to escape her feelings. However, shortly later, Eleanor has a change of heart. She comes home, succumbing to temptation. That night, Sarah and Ethan have a passionate experience. The next morning, Ethan discovers Eleanor cleaning the BCED sheets from the night before. She tells Ethan that she is filled with remorse and concern about her husband's homecoming. This cannot occur again. No more.
Yeah, but this time I really mean it, okay? No more.
Despite her words, the chemistry between them is undeniable, and their affair continues. This marks a turning point in their relationship. The secret moments they share are filled with excitement and danger, adding to the intensity of their forbidden romance. Eleanor wrestles with guilt while trying to maintain a facade of normalcy with Richard, but the passion she feels for Ethan is too strong to ignore. The stage is set for more drama and heartache as their story unfolds. Ethan, wanting some alone time with Eleanor, gets the keys to an empty apartment from a friend. He invites Eleanor over, hoping they can enjoy each other's company without interruptions. Eleanor can't resist, and soon they find themselves in each other's arms. Afterward, lying together, Eleanor admits she hasn't felt this happy in a long time. Ethan reassures her, saying everyone deserves a bit of happiness. However, their bliss doesn't last long. On her way back home, Eleanor runs into Richard, who is concerned about where she has been experiencing the strain. Eleanor lies and claims she is receiving therapy for her hurting back. This near meeting should have served as a wake-up call for Eleanor, but the excitement of the affair keeps her drawn back to Ethan. The secret adds an element of thrill and risk to their relationship. Eleanor feels bad, yet she can't stay away from Ethan. She tries to act normal around Richard, but the stolen moments with Ethan keep their affair alive. Their secret isn't safe for long. After a secret getaway to a hotel, Eleanor is caught kissing Ethan in a taxi by their nosy neighbor, Gladys Evans. Worried that Gladys will spill the beans, Eleanor confronts her. Gladys says she won't interfere, but she warns Eleanor that secrets like these rarely stay hidden. Despite this, Eleanor can't end things with Ethan. She becomes jealous when she hears Ethan is getting close to another older woman, Rosa. Confronting Rosa, Eleanor makes it clear that Ethan is off limits, revealing her own feelings in the process. This confrontation tips Rosa off about Eleanor's affair with Ethan. The affair brings constant turmoil. The thrill of sneaking around is exciting but also exhausting. Eleanor tries to keep up appearances at home while being deeply involved with Ethan. The fear of Richard finding out looms over them, but their attraction is too strong to ignore for Ethan. His feelings for Eleanor grow deeper, but he's also aware of how complicated things have become. They both understand that their connection is unlawful, yet the passion makes it difficult to remain away. As Richard's suspicions deepen, the pressure mounts. What began as a thrilling secret now threatens to derail their lives. How will Eleanor and Ethan deal with the rising problems of their forbidden love? Now comes the pivotal moment in Eleanor and Ethan's relationship. It's Christmas Day, and the festive mood is in full flow. Richard heads out to pick up a loaf of bread, a simple errand that turns out to be anything but. While out, Richard bumps into Rosa, who drops a subtle hint about Eleanor. "Look, it's none of my business." "Richard, but I think Eleanor's feeling a bit neglected. Pay her more attention," she says. Richard, puzzled and a bit suspicious, heads home only to find Eleanor and Ethan sitting a little too close together on the sofa. Later, he finds the fresh loaf of bread discarded in the water bin outside, realizing Eleanor sent him out just to spend time alone with Ethan. Devastated by this discovery, Richard finds a way to get Eleanor out of the house temporarily. Alone with Ethan, Richard's anger boils over. He punches Ethan in the face and demands to know how long the affair has been going on. Richard asks Ethan if he loves Eleanor, saying that if he truly does, he should step aside. Ethan, unable to answer, is told to pack his bags and leave immediately with the warning to never contact Eleanor again.
"You've got 5 minutes to put everything you own in a bag and get out. Show your face again, I'll kill you."
When Eleanor returns home, she finds out that Ethan has gone. She quietly sobs alone on the stairs, mourning the loss of the dream she had with Ethan. Richard tries to salvage their marriage by showering Eleanor with gifts and romantic gestures. He buys her a car, hoping to reignite the spark in their relationship. "The car's a beauty, isn't she?" Richard says, trying to see a glimmer of joy in Eleanor's eyes. Overwhelmed with guilt, Eleanor wants to confess everything to Richard, but he refuses to listen. "There are some things I need to tell you," she begins. Richard shut her off. "Just forget it, Eleanor. I know about you and Ethan." He even surprises her with a Caribbean vacation for Valentine's Day, but it's evident that the affair has irreparably damaged their relationship. During a vacation in Spain, tensions rise again. They argue, and Richard cruelly tells Eleanor that Ethan never really wanted her and was just using her for sex. He was 18 years old. "Eleanor, what on earth do you think he saw in you?" "Apart from the obvious," he says, hitting her where it hurts the most. He reveals that he offered to step aside for Ethan, but Ethan chose to leave without her.
He was 20 years old. What on earth do you think he could possibly see in you apart from the obvious?
Their argument is filled with hurtful words, and both say things they can't take back. By the end of the vacation, Richard buys Eleanor another car, but this time he gives her a choice. "You can stay with me and we can try to rebuild our life, or you can take the car and leave for good," he tells her. Eleanor, wanting more from life, decides to take the car and leave. Richard, setting out in search of a new beginning. It's a terrible choice, but one she feels compelled to make. Eleanor and Ethan's relationship is complicated, motivated by a combination of emotional demands and exterior influences. Eleanor's discontent with her marriage, along with Ethan's young attentiveness, provided her a much-needed boost in self-esteem, making her feel loved and respected. The age gap and the secrecy of their connection added an element of thrill and risk, making it even more appealing. Even though their love was fleeting, Eleanor and Ethan's tale remains a noteworthy chapter in East End history, telling us that even the most apparently secure lives may be upended by the attraction of forbidden love. What are your thoughts on Eleanor and Ethan's relationship? If you loved this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more age gap content.